Hi, my name is Oscar and I'm a scientist. Today we're going to discuss the October 2023 Visa Bulletin with a focus on India and EB1. Why EB1? Because in EB1 we have EB1A, which is a green card category in which you can self-petition. That means you don't need to have a company and you can even do it without a lawyer. Why India and EB1 specifically? Because first of all, there's many of you out there that are interested in this category that are born in India. And second, because in the past months, we have seen a series of visa bulletins that have left us a little bit surprised and a lot of times disappointed. So today we're going to do a summary and we're going to analyze what happened and what could happen in the future. I'm not going to give any prediction, I'm just going to give an analysis so you can understand what's the situation and what you should expect moving forward. Let's move to my other screen. So first of all, if you want to take a look at the full analysis of the October 2023 Visa Bulletin, I have two videos. I have one video that I released first yesterday that you can watch in the link I'm going to leave. And then I have a second video where I expanded the analysis because in October you will be able to use table B, and that has a lot of impact in many people that are doing adjustment of status. So go and watch those if you want to get a more general analysis of the October Visa Bulletin. But now we're going to move back to India and we're going to see what happens with the EB1 category over the last months. Okay, so here in this screen, I have the Visa Bulletin months, the recent months here as columns. And then I will have table A dates and table B dates in rows. Remember what this means. Table A is usually used for adjustment of status, and table B is usually used to start the consular processing. However, there are some months where USCIS allows you to use table B also for adjustment of status, to send your adjustment of status. But one thing is important to remember, and table A will always dictate if there's a visa number available to you. That means that even if you're doing consular processing, or even if USCIS allows you to use table B for filing your adjustment of status, you will not be able to complete the whole process and get your green card until table A allows you to do so, okay? That is a common misconception, or at least people are misinformed and they don't really understand how we use these tables. And I always say focus on table A more, because table A will really dictate if you will get your green card or not, okay? Table B may allow you to see if you can proceed with certain parts of the process, but table A is really the boss of these two tables. So let's start populating this so we can have a feel of what has been happening with India. Before I jump into July, I want to tell you that 1 year ago, in September 2022, India was current in table A for the EB1 category, and that made this category so appealing to so many Indians that suffer a lot of backlogs in all other green card categories, for example, EB2 and AW. So what happens with July? Well, that's not what I wanted. Here it is. In July, we have a priority date, or a date, final action date of February 2022, and a date for filing in table B of June 2022. Generally, table B will always show a better date generally for applicants, because, as I said earlier, it's table A which governs the visa number. Okay, so that's going to be the more conservative one. So February 2022 in July meant that there was a little bit over a year of backlog, which for many Indian applicants was not too bad. I mean, it was worse than the previous year where we had a current, a C, but it was still a manageable situation compared to EB2NIW that has a decade-long backlog, okay? So what happened in August? August was the problematic month. In August, we saw the date moving from February 2022 to January 2012, and that caught us all by surprise. A lot of lawyers were also super surprised by this. I saw them on LinkedIn, and they were absolutely astonished by the Visa Bulletin and this date. It's a decade of retrogression. We call retrogression when dates move backwards instead of moving forward. Okay, and what this meant is that, and this is how they explain it in the footnotes that you can always read in each Visa Bulletin. They say, okay, India is oversubscribed. There's too many applications from Indian nationals for an EB1 green card, and until now, what we were doing, this is USCIS talking, not me, we were taking some other EB1s from other countries that were not used because they were not able to use all of them, and we were using them for India. But now, because the general EB1 category is getting the quota that Congress allows us to assign to EB1, we cannot do that. We can no longer give India those green cards. And therefore, in August 2023, they had to put this decade retrogression on India, which effectively stops the Indian assignments. Okay, so there's no more green cards for the fiscal year given to India. Remember that the fiscal year runs until September, so we were still at the end of fiscal year 2023 here. As you can see, the table B didn't move. They kept it there, and what they said is it is likely that in October, the final action date, Table A, will advance to at least the final action date announced in the July Visa Bulletin, so February 2022. However, the date is dependent on the demand for EB1 visas by Indian applicants and the fiscal year 2024 annual limit on employment-based preference visas. So here they are saying, well, we had to do this because of the reasons I just told you, but in October, when we go into the next fiscal year, which is 2024, most likely the date for India for EB1 will go back to February 2022. So those 10 years that we have to retrogress now, they will be reverted, okay? So September came, the Visa Bulletin was released, and of course there was no change because September is still the last month of fiscal year 2023. So still they kept this retrogression. January 2012 was kept the same, and Table B was kept the same. So that was not a surprise. We were not expecting any change based on the information that USCIS was giving us in the Visa Bulletin. Now, yesterday, October, Visa Bulletin was released, and like I said, October is the first month of fiscal year 2024. So we expected that there would be a big jump for India. Usually we don't expect big jumps for anything, but for India this time, based on the information they gave us, we did expect that. So what happened? Well, as you probably know, there was a jump, but it was not that big. There was a 5-year jump from January 2012 to January 2017, which is good. However, it falls very short from the expectation that they gave us here in this August 2023 Visa Bulletin footnote. They told us most likely we will go back to February 2022, and we only got to January 2017. So right now, there's 6 years, more than 6 years of backlog for Indian applicants for the EB1 category, which makes this category no longer that appealing for an Indian applicant. Remember, only a year ago, India was current. So there has been 6 years of retrogression in 1 year. Now, should we panic? Should we fall into despair and think that there's absolutely no way things will get better? Well, first of all, I don't know. I'm always very truthful and honest about this. If you remember one of my videos, I don't do predictions of Visa Bulletins. I don't try to take out my crystal ball and use it to come up with some random numbers or dates to tell you. I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows. Not lawyers, not consultants, not YouTubers. and not most people that are working in USCIS and the Department of State. Okay, they go month by month, and they try to balance the demand with the visa numbers that Congress allows them to do. Remember that they are not the ones that decide if India can get numbers or India cannot get numbers. It's Congress who makes the law. So, because I don't know, I'm not going to come up with numbers. I'm going to put back this crystal ball in the drawer, and maybe I'll use it to enter the lottery or something like that. But jokes aside, let's try to see what can happen. Okay, yesterday there was this comment here in the YouTube channel that I like from the diversity professor, and this person posted, well, since they have already announced that the date for EB1 for Indians is going to be January 2017 based on the green cards available for fiscal year 2024, why should we check visa bulletins every month to see if the date has moved, since they will not be increasing the green card availability for fiscal year 2024? Please help me understand. Okay, so what I told him is that, first of all, USCIS not only has caps on an annual basis, they also have caps in a quarterly basis. And you can read that in the footnotes of the October Visa Bulletin. They say that okay, well, we have also to adhere to these limitations that we have. And also, while it is true that that date of January 17 is definitely not good news, we don't know if things will move forward or not later. Why? Because we don't know how many people is applying. I told this person in my reply, well, it depends on demand. We don't know. Now they put this date of January 2017. Maybe there's not a lot of people that will apply with that priority date. And if that happens, the demand is low, and USCIS can open a little bit more the gates to allow more people to file for an adjustment of status. That is perfectly possible. I think I didn't convince this reader and this viewer, and he replied, okay, but I get the quarterly cap, but what about the demand? If they say January 2017, they are taking into account the already pending I-485 applications with them, right? So based on the quarterly allocation, the dates can only move behind. Can they move forward in the next 12 months? Yes, they can, because they are not really taking into account pending I-485 applications. They may be taking into account those pending applications, but they also take into account that the uncertainty, here that's the key word, the uncertainty that these agencies have. They don't know, from all the people that have, for example, I-140 approved, they don't know if those people are still in the US. Maybe some people already left because they had been waiting for a long time. They don't, and many people, particularly Indians, may have priority dates associated with other processes, for example, EB2 or EB3. So they don't know how many people are still in the US, and they don't know how many people may have obtained a different benefit that makes them no longer interested in EB1. I think that part is a little bit unlikely for India, but it could happen. So what they are doing is probably they are starting slow, and they are allowing, okay, now January 2017, let's see how many people file for an adjustment of status. Remember, they don't know. There's uncertainty. They don't know how many applications will actually come, okay? There's a number of I-140 approved, but they don't know if they will file adjustment of status or not. So maybe they are doing this, they are going to see what is the demand, and if the demand is not strong, maybe the dates will advance. Okay, so that is my silver lining to this situation. However, I do agree that it's not good news, but I want to tell you both sides so you can remain hopeful and you can remain engaged also, because it is important to keep following the Visa Bulletin. It is important to keep following the situation so you can make the best decision for you in the coming months if you are Indian. Okay, it's a tough situation, but you need to keep going and keep informed, okay? Because if there is a window of opportunity where you can file the adjustment of status, you should be ready to do so. If you are serious about doing this and you haven't filed your process yet, I have eb1greencard.info. That's my website for EB1A green cards, the topic we were covering right now. I have a course there that will teach you all the requirements for this category, how to fulfill those requirements, how to craft your petition cover letter, your recommendation letters, how to make all your documents strong so you meet the criteria of extraordinary ability and you're able to file a successful petition without lawyers, without a job offer and a company sponsoring you. If you are interested on EB2NAW, if you are Indian, you're probably not going to go with that option, but if you think it's interesting for you, please go and check it out in eb2naw.info as well. Thank you for watching as usual. Let's keep hopeful, let's keep engaged, and I will see you in this channel very soon. Thank you.